Hey Will, this is Jacob over at Mortgage Coach. Just wanted to give you a quick walkthrough on how to do that loan comparison. You had requested one showing a $200,000 FHA loan, no points versus a 1 3/4 points. So I'll show you how to do that here. Go ahead and create a new client in Edge. I'm just going to call him new client. And of course, put in all the basic information that you need. If we're doing a purchase, you can leave it on own if you want, or you can leave it on rent. Either way, if you do rent, you'll have the option of the rent versus own in the end. So it might be a good option for you if this is a first-time home buyer. But I'm going to check own for now. Let's say that they're looking at a second home or something. One of the pieces of logic here in Edge is if you click on this purchase a new home checkbox, it actually won't ask you for the existing mortgage, even if you clicked own on the first page back there. So this guy negates having to do the data entry for the existing mortgage. All the other ones are going to be for refinance, so those ones will definitely ask for the existing mortgage so it can do the comparison. But for purchase, we select purchase. We're going to put in our purchase price. That's $200,000. And then all this good stuff is great if you're going to do the rent versus own. If we're just doing a total cost analysis, I'm going to skip over this. And that. Okay, now we get into the products. So I'm going to call this one 30 fixed FHA. This is not a refi, so we'll leave it at no. It's not an existing mortgage. It's going to be a new one. This is an FHA program, though. Remember to check yes on these because it's going to prompt you to put in the upfront MIP in the next screen. So we've got our $200,000 purchase price. For our down payment, we're going to use 3.5%. And then as soon as you tab off the field, it automatically generates the down payment and the base loan amount here. And let's say for a no points loan, we can get this to them at, say, 5 1/4. And we're going to have a term of 360 months. And this is going to be a fixed loan. So we don't have any IO period in here. There's no balloon payment. So we're just going to hit the right arrow and we'll get into the cost. So let's we'll put all the origination costs, anything up here. So for instance, on this no points loan, what are all our external costs here? Let's say right around $3,000. Now remember, no points, so we're going to leave that one blank. And then if there was non-APR costs, things like your basic appraisal fees and stuff like that, you would put those in here. Now, if there's any seller contribution beyond your standard, you'd want to put it in here. If you're going to use this loan for a seller buy down, you don't want to put any seller contribution in here because you want to let the seller buy down logic do its own thing when you get to that part. But if you're not doing a seller buy down and you need to show a concession or a gift or something like that, you can put it here in the seller contributions line. This just knocks down your total cash to close by whatever amount you put in here. So just kind of a good way to get your cash to close to be perfectly spot on. Now upfront MIP, this is a high LTV loan, so we're going to do the full 1% here. We're going to add it to the loan amount. This checkbox will finance it in for you. If you don't check this box, it's going to call for this amount at closing. So make sure you've got this checked in here. Then we get to our monthlies. I like doing these as factor percentages. They seem to be a bit easier. Okay, so I've got my hazard and taxes in there. This is pretty critical on FHA loans. Anytime you're doing an FHA loan that requires not only the 78% cutoff mark, but the 60 months to go first, here's how you're going to enter it. You're going to put in your mortgage insurance, and it's a 0.9 for this one. My MI cutoff percentage, that's going to be 78% according to FHA guidelines. We're going to check the box to calculate the MI on the balance. What this does is every year it recalculates the MI payment based on the current balance, just like FHA guidelines say. So you're going to change the MI cutoff months here to 60 months because you want to tell it to make sure and go 60 months first, then cut off at 78%. Now your MI is probably tax deductible still, but we're not showing any tax deductibility on this particular report, so there's kind of no reason to check this box. If there was a secondary lien on this, you'd put it in, but for this case, we're not going to have a second on here. We're just calling for 3.5% down. So we're going to add another product. Now this opens up a new product, and we don't have to do all the data entry all over again. Instead, we're going to use this copy from button. I'm going to copy that 30 fixed FHA from program 1 into program 2. So for this one, I'm going to call this one FHA 30 fixed 1.75 points. Okay, so same thing, it's already toggled for FHA. We're good here on the down payment. All we've got to do now is adjust our rate. So if they were to pay that 1.75 points, let's say we can get them down to 4.625 or something like that. Be a pretty sweet deal right there. Okay, let's make it 4.75. All right, so then we've got the same term on this, so there's no need to adjust anything there. Our APR costs are going to stay the same up here, but remember, we want those 1.75 points represented in our report, so we're going to put them in right here. Now, these check boxes up here, if you needed to add these fees to the loan amount, if you wanted to finance them in, you'd check this box. But be careful, because you obviously can't finance in too much. You're going to exceed your LTV limits on this. So if you are able to finance them in, you can use this check box. If not, leave it unchecked, and it's going to call for these amounts as cash to close. Now, we still got the upfront MIP in there. We still got it rolled in, so we're good on that one. There's obviously just a couple more things we need to look at. There's our hazard and taxes. These carried over automatically because we use that copy from. And you can see we've got our cutoff month at 78. It's going for 60 months first. We've now got two programs here that this is post-comp reform compliant. We're showing them our 30-year fixed non-risky loan, and we're showing them an alternative for the lowest points that they can pay to reduce the rate on that same loan. So we actually don't even need a third product here. Had we been doing an ARM or something like that, a risky loan, we would need a third product involved in this situation. But we've got all that together. I would say your next step, hit the right arrow. It's going to leave you over at the analysis tab here. Anytime you're doing a points versus no points where you've got a cost savings, I would always recommend doing a term reduction. We're saving them $62 a month doing this 1.75 points extra. So I want to show a reinvestment of that into term reduction. This is the quickest place to do it, right here. Adjust reduction payments. It brings up a little matrix of what each one is and what the savings are. So you can actually just sit here and put in your 62 bucks. And once I tab off the field, you're going to see that my freedom point has now changed to 26.5 years. And I'm saving them a little bit more money over the long term. Obviously, my long-term principal paid looks much better on this second product. But we'll continue through there. Of course, make sure and enter all the property information and everything. And then I'm going to generate a total cost. So I'm going to hit the right arrow. Keep going through these. Now you can edit all this text here. So if you need to, go ahead and edit this stuff. And we'll get to the final copy here, and I'm going to preview it to show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is your basic FHA 3.5% down, 0 points versus 1.75 points. You can see we've got a difference in our cash to close of about $3,000. But over the long term, you can see in 5 years, this is after the closing costs are considered, they're already ahead by $2,000 on this new loan. So it's always going to be a winner doing it this way, especially when you're showing long-term results and you're showing a reinvestment. That's why that $62 was so important. By reinvesting that, we've actually increased this from about a $1,500 savings to a $2,000 savings. And naturally, our principal paid has grown substantially because of that extra money. But that's about it. If you have any questions on it, please feel free to email me over at support. I'd be happy to help. Thank you much. Bye-bye.